You are listening to the Holistic Travel Nurse Podcast. In this episode, I'm going to share with you guys a little bit what's been going on in my life, working in the hospitals right now as it's April and working on a COVID unit. I wrote a blog post that expressed, I think, a lot about how the healthcare workers are feeling right now. And I've had Zoom calls with different people on there where we've talked about how to keep our immune system strong and our emotions strong during, that's my dog, during this crisis that we are going through. And I know so many people have their own crisis right now that, like, they're at home, they're not working, they have all that stress. And this COVID virus is so different what we're seeing in the healthcare in the hospital setting than we've seen with the flu. And like you hear it all over the world, and it's not like young children that are getting sick, it's more and less the adults. And walking into in a whole COVID ICU where they have the IV poles outside the rooms and they're all negative flow because they're treating it as airborne, which it is. And it was a little intense at first walking into that. And then, am I worried about my health? No, I do so much to maintain my health. I think in general, about flattening the curve is that we have a lot of people in society that don't put their health first and don't have an idea about what's going on in their body and things that they could be doing to strengthen their own health. We have a lot of people that don't even think about that. We have a lot of people that can't, maybe because of the stress, maybe of the homeless population that aren't going to think about their health right now. They're just thinking about where they're going to lay their head tonight and how they're going to get their next meal. So those people are like high at risk, and those people are the ones that we are trying to protect and flatten the curve. We should care about those people, every kind of people. That's what Jesus would do. That's what nurses and healthcare providers are doing, and first responders. We are caring for those types of people, but it's been kind of missed between all of that. And I had this conversation with the pharmacist because we've all looked at one of the patients that we are taking care of. They all ordering the same blood work, and I said, well, what if this is just our hypothesis. This is not me giving any medical advice. This is just what's been going on in my life. What if it's causing some people to get so really sick is because they already have some chronic underlying inflammation in their body and they have no idea. And then a little virus, or they're also malnourished, because I'm going to talk to you about your liver today and glutathione, which you can hear more episodes of that. I did a whole episode on coffee enemas. I did a whole webinar on my podcast why I love coffee enemas for glutathione, but not everybody wants to do that. I'm going to give you some ideas about how to keep strong glutathione in your body today, and why that is super important. Because if you are having some more inflammation, or let's just put it reactive oxygen ROS, a little too elevated in your body wants this complete balance, and it always wants this homeostasis, so to speak. And it was me and this pharmacist are like, yeah, that's, our hypothesis is that it's causing this cytokine storm, this massive inflammation in the body, and the immune system's just kind of going nuts, what we're seeing. And then what are we doing regularly to aid our body into having proper glutathione, which is the massive antioxidant that your body makes in the liver that helps keep all that oxidative stress, which happens normally in our body, but even more so if you get sick, in check. And so that's one of the reasons I think that you see, if you've not seen, there are some people that are using IV vitamin C, even in sepsis patients. I've talked to other fellow nurses and they're using IV vitamin C because vitamin C will help with a strong antioxidant to help calm down that overreaction, and that reactive oxygen ROS is too high in the body. Okay. But we want our livers to do it. But then if we give them, certain medications, certain lifestyles, certain pesticides, herbicides, and then you have a not great functioning liver to make the proper glutathione. And you also add age into that. So think of a child is making glutathione really well. They have really great new livers. They have great new organs. Their immune system is quite strong compared to someone of age when those things just aren't even functioning as well as they are. They say at like age 40, you're making less glutathione in your liver. And then you add, if someone has maybe beginning stages of fatty liver, or you add medications that affect that, there's a ton of medications that have to be metabolized and used by your liver. Pesticides, herbicides, proper unhealthy foods, sugar is really harsh on your body. So all those things are coming in play to having a proper glutathione level. And you can't just, honestly, glutathione, people actually sell it. Someone sells it on Amazon as a supplement, but it's not really poor absorbed. When I read about it, one of the first books I ever read about it was in cancer patients, and this physician has long passed away, and I own a couple of his books, and he talked about the power horse of the glutathione when it comes to cancer. And it was fascinating to me to think, it's just a lifestyle thing, and there are some major things that we can be doing to aid in our liver's function, and in our lifestyle makes a huge key of that. And so yes, we can have a day of eating a lot of sugar, but don't do it every single day. And it's so important to have herbicides and pesticides not in your life. I argued with this with my mom. Why just organic? And I'm like, well, because the herbicides and pesticides wear on your liver, and therefore your liver's not making that glutathione as much, right? And it's not functioning as well. So because you're giving it more things, more taxing stuff, that's kind of what it is. So when you have herbicides and pesticides or environmental toxins that you're being exposed in your body, either breathing it in, or I think even mentally, because there's so much mental, and when we're stressed, we are in the best homeostasis at that point. We're not in balance. Our cortisol levels are up. We're not in that rest state where our body's going to respond better and heal better. And sleep is where massive things happen at night. Your body restores, it heals, or repairs with sleep. Then you add in malnourished, because people eat horrible diets, don't take full supplements and whole food supplements. They just throw artificial supplements at their body and expect it to function better. Also, I mean, you can hear the episode where I have a friend I interviewed just recently was a bodybuilder, and she talks about the taxing stress in the body. When you have people that are bodybuilders or do CrossFit, that's all stress on the body too. So that decreases the glutathione levels in your body and increases the inflammation a little bit in your body. So without all this hypothesis, and that's kind of going on, I mean, I thought about that. I'm like, I have to get my emotions like in check when walking in to the hospital right now. That feels like a war zone. And one way I use it is I prayer, meditation, and then I use my essential oils. Oh my goodness, those scents, those smells, those chemicals, they're calming. I use my calming oils. I put them on my neck. I put them inside my mask. I put some up my nose that are not going to be toxic to me, but that are going to enhance, because I'm at risk of getting sick. I'm at risk for any of that stuff, and I don't want to pass it on to anybody else. And I don't want to be living in that stress, and I don't want it to affect me like that. And how the atmosphere is. And I actually am blessed to be at a place where I've seen a lot of the other nurses dancing on Instagram, or healthcare workers or doctors, and where everybody is doing everything they can to keep it a uplight and upbeat environment in the midst of a chaotic situation. So if I suggest, ideas to do it at home, I'm also going to give you tips. We're going to talk about essential oils and essential oils that help with glutathione, that help with balance. And one of the cool things about essential oils, I don't want to compare it, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of problems with our medications, and I love a lot of our medications that we have, is that many medications don't actually, those molecules go into the cell quite effectively between the factors of the molecule size and the route of administration, certain of these medications, and they're taxing to the liver. Okay. So we have those in imbalance. Unlike essential oils, when they interact with our human body, it's actually pretty cool because they are lipid and they go right through, they go right into the cell. They do impact the DNA, the mitochondria, those parts of the cell. And most of the time, in the proper doses, in the proper essential oils, will aid in the effect and aid in that cell's life. So that's indifferent. Not that medications won't. Medications do, and a side note, there's a lot of medications that are very powerful in aiding and helping our body in certain things, but they're also, in every medication, a point of no return and taxing to your liver or your kidneys. So if you take too much, a large dose, that is taxing and harsh to your body. So one particular oil that we love so much is, if you have, and I like doTERRA's, that's who I use, but lemon and citrus oils, and you can find it in wild orange too, but this chemical constituent of lemon essential oil is really high, is limonene. And limonene is shown to help with glutathione in the body, which is super cool. Super cool. We just talked about all the major things that glutathione does in your body. So one way to start your morning, and they say to drink warm water is best too, is like this warm cup of tea. I like stevia in my tea. If you want honey, you can do honey. If you don't do any of that stuff, awesome sauce. And then add a few drops of your citrus oil, your lemon, your wild orange. My mom tells me she loves wild orange in her water every day. She does wild orange in her water every single day. It's like, and it's an incredible, simple act that you can do to aiding your body. The benefit of the aromatherapy, when you breathing it in, we know that it is uplifting and also calming to the body. So I clean with it, and there is in this book I have that says evidence-based essential oil therapy. When it comes to the whole lemon section, there are so many major benefits that lemon might do, and I will actually talk more about this in my private Facebook group. I won't go into it as much. There is like 3 pages just on how amazing that essential oil can be for you. And just having something as simple as that to benefit your body. I mean, honestly, you need to be doing what you can with your diet. You need to be doing what you can with your mindset and not being stressed. Those are choices and things you can be doing. So making the healthier choices in what you can purchase in shopping, and having less sugar in your body, having less pesticides and herbicides in your body, not smoking, being careful with what you're taking as supplementation. Those are all things that you can control. Those are things that you can do to support your body. And those, I think, are very impactful right now, especially to our healthcare providers, that I'm trying to get this out to more of them so that they can realize they have some things that they can be doing right now to protect themselves, to come together and to understand that they have so much power, and when they feel powerless. And I think there's a lot of people that feel that way, that are being stuck inside right now during the midst of this pandemic. They're feeling powerless. They can't do anything. And there are people that have other ones that have lost loved ones, or they have people in the hospital settings that they can't see them. And I think it's really awesome right now that technology, we can bring a phone up or do a Zoom or whatever so they can see their loved ones in the hospital. Get teary-eyed thinking about it because yesterday and we had a case, and it's that step that we do for people right now since they can't come in, and you're isolating yourself from your loved ones because you want to protect them or because you want to make sure that they're safe. I talked to a fellow nurse who is not going home to her kids. Her children are living with their parents. She is not having interaction with her parents right now, no interaction with her kids right now, because she realized that she could be a vector. She could be someone carrying the virus and could potentially spread it to her loved ones. And so she's making that sacrifice. And who knows how long the sacrifice is going to be, where she is not getting that special hug from her family member. She's not getting that love and attention from her children right now. And we need to honor that, because that is amazing. And I heard that same thing from a physician. He's like, my parents live like 3 minutes away. And at this time, especially around the holidays, especially around Easter, when we did all these family get-togethers, and we're not getting together. He's like, I'm dropping off stuff and supplies to them. I don't want them out in the store. They're elderly, they're high risk. I want to do whatever I can to protect my family and my loved ones. And I honor that, and I respect that. And I hope that you are doing that also, and that you're doing something that is going to take care of you and somebody else. If in one way you can aid and help somebody else right now, is like share this podcast, share this episode, so someone feels empowered that they can do very simple things to aid in their health. Because I think that a lot of people don't get it, and your health should be the utmost value. If you walked through what me and my friends are walking through and seeing what we see in the ICUs and seeing what we see in the hospitals, you would put more value on your health. I guarantee it. If you could walk in our shoes. I was talking to one of our Zoom calls, and this friend of mine, she'll know who she is by saying what she does. She's a respiratory therapist, and as a respiratory therapist, she's like, oh, we have 18 patients intubated right now. We have this many patients that are prone. We have this many patients that are so sick. We have this many patients on oxygen right now. And she's like, I've just never seen anything like this. And she's like, it's emotional to her to see it. It's also, okay, I don't want to bring this home to my loved one also. And so we talked about the simple things that we are doing every single day so that we can keep our own immune system strong. I'm not saying if we don't get the virus, if we get exposed, that our body will not overreact. And so we're doing all these things. And we're like, I'm talking to my friends who are healthcare providers or nurses in other areas, and they're the opposite. There are other nurses that work in specialties, outpatient surgeries, things like that actually have been furloughed. They're not even working right now. So they feel the stress of everybody else that they don't even have the income that they're supposed to. So they're at home, but they also feel guilt at home because they feel like they should be, working the front lines. So I've talked to many different healthcare providers, and that's one of the things I love, that we can get together and do Zoom calls. And so it's one thing I'm going to continue to do, and I'm going to do Facebook Lives, and you can join my Facebook tribe, and you can empower yourself that you will know how to take care of your health, and that you can do simple things to help with your mind, to help with your sleep, to help with your immune system. You should see my Instagram post, and the little thing I carry around with supplementations I take every single day. I'm religious with those. Every single day because, one, I feel better if I'm taking them. If I don't have them for a week, I don't feel good. Two, I'm being exposed. Whether or not I have the proper PPE or not, doesn't matter. I feel like it's still this possibility. And two, I have a lot more stress walking in these situations right now at work. And so what can I do? How can I control my environment? And then at the same time, if you are working and you're not, and you have the financial means, and you hear about other people who are struggling, you know what? This is a time to really step up and do something for them. You could pay a bill. You could drop off groceries. You could give them some essential oils if you have them. This is a time where you really can step up and be neighborly, more so than ever before. And I think I just want to call to that. Even if you're listening to this and this is long time past, I really want you to think of, paying it forward and how can you pay that forward. So that's my call to action. How can you pay that forward? If you've never experienced doTERRA's essential oils compared to anybody else's, this when you want to reach out to me, I can get something in the mail to you. holistictravelnurse@gmail.com is my email. I answer them all personally. I don't put people on a mailing list unless they ask. I don't even have that right now. I'd rather, if I sent an email out, I send you maybe, hey, you want to look at my link? You want to look at my blog? But I get way too many emails when I've signed up for something in education and I feel like they email me 3 or 4 times a week. I get annoyed with that. So I won't do it to other people. So I'd rather hear from that person personally. And that's what I do. So people reach out on Instagram, Facebook, or just through email. It's me personally that you get to speak to. So I hope this is impactful for you. I hope you understand that you can do simple things to really, really move the needle in your health, to improve your health. And I hope you pay it forward. I hope you're doing something amazing. I hope you can email me a comment to something amazing you did during the pandemic to help somebody else. Thank you guys for listening. God bless.